Will Cain Country begins in 1 minute.
One, La Cosa Nostra, Genovese, Gambino, Lucchese, the Italian crime families of New York, NBA star Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and the FBI. Huge betting scandal for the NBA. Two, James Carville says take collaborators with President Donald Trump. Shave their heads, put them in orange pajamas, march them through the streets of D.C., and spit on them. With senior columnist for townhall.com, Kurt Schlichter. 3, the one big turnoff for at least one big celebrity. In Final Takes. It is Will Cain Country on a Thursday. Welcome you into the Will Cain Country YouTube channel. Drop into the comments section. Join the Willisha. Become a part of the country. Massive breaking story today out of New York, out of the FBI, out of organized crime, and out of the NBA. Let's get into it with story number 1. Morning press conference from the FBI, and FBI Director Kash Patel reveals a massive illegal betting scam that included the likes, allegedly, of Portland Trailblazers coach Chauncey Billups, former NBA stars Damon Jones and Jonte Porter, and many more, to rig private poker games to fleece marks out of tens of millions, and NBA games rigged for prop bets, more or less over under on various players' performance in NBA games, has been laid out before us by the FBI. Here is Director Kash Patel.
The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud.
This is a stunning story that seems like it's taken right out of Hollywood, right out of Rounders or Molly's Game. Only in this case, it's actually cheating the bettors. It's not just running an illegal card game. It's bringing in marks, whales, where they're the only one in the room that doesn't realize they're not in on the scam. Here are the 2 scams as laid out by Director Kash Patel. 1, illegal poker games. The Mafia and several of the 5 families of New York would bring in essentially celebrity stars, like allegedly Chauncey Billups, to sit at a table where high rollers would want to play poker with former stars in the NBA. But the problem was the game was rigged in various fashions. Tables had X-ray readers where one could look up through the bottom of the table and read the cards, or hidden cameras inside of a chip tray. These card-reading technology mechanisms were then relayed to an off-site monitor who would use his cell phone to hit up one of the people at the table. That person, entitled the quarterback, would then relay to everyone but the marks at the table who had the best hand. What was the highest probability of a win? Here's a little more detail on the poker and the prop bets in the NBA as laid out by interim U.S. Attorney for New York, Joseph Nasella.
This scheme is an insider sports betting conspiracy that exploited confidential information about National Basketball Association athletes and teams. The second indictment involves 31 defendants alleged to have participated in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games. These defendants, which include former professional athletes, used high-tech cheating technology to steal millions of dollars from victims in underground poker games that were secretly fixed. The games in the New York area were backed by the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families of La Cosa Nostra.
This also included, as I mentioned, prop bets inside of NBA games. The allegations are that players like, say, Damon Jones would use straw bettors, tell their friends, hey, place more or less over-under on what I'm going to score tonight because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going out in the first quarter. I'm going out because I'm sick. I'm going to go out because I have an injury. And it also used other players as well. They got inside information inside the NBA about who else was going to play that night or not play much or be minute restricted and allow you to place bets on information that the general public didn't have. Let's bring in Tinfoil Pat and Two-A-Days Dan. This is an absolutely huge story. Now, I think for those who aren't big sports fans, it may not feel as big in the moment outside of the name recognition, the sparkle, the Hollywood nature of it. But this has ramifications, huge. Everyone that's in media, first of all, even in any form of sports media, knows the power of sports gambling. It is driving this industry. So much so that I know for a fact sports leagues that don't get the television contracts of, say, the NFL are looking to tap into, like the NHL, tap into sports gambling as a way to keep their leagues afloat, find new revenue streams when they don't have television revenue anymore. But like everything in our society, it's moving so fast. Everything is moving. Technology, disruption. I feel like in my lifetime, I'm 50 years old. You guys are a little bit younger. But I think even at your age, in your late 30s, you probably have felt this. I just feel like society's changing at a breakneck speed. Like we have hit fifth gear in the last 15 years. And we've probably ignored a lot of it because of the attention on politics. Now, politics has also hit hyperdrive, but you know, the economy, business, disruption, innovation, college sports, transfer portal, NIL, sports gambling, every AI coming, everything is changing so fast. It's like, man, if you were launching a business 20 years ago, you might actually write a business plan that was a decade out. Here's how we're going to make it. Here's what the business should look like in 10 years. I don't know how you write a 10-year plan. I don't know how you put together a 10-year life plan. Everything changes so fast. The reason I'm bringing that up right now is sports gambling is, okay, we've been talking about it for a decade, but the rate, the whiplash nature of the pace of change it's having on sports is overnight. And we haven't fully reconciled things like, what do you do about cheating? What do you do about players that can make money inside of gambling? What do you do, by the way, about gambling addiction? What percentage of our population, young men right now, are gambling? And the answer is a freaking ton. And I'm not even passing moral judgment. I'm not telling you right or wrong. All I know is you've taken the snow globe and shaken it up hard. And we have no idea how the snow settles on society. We have no idea it's happening so freaking fast. The only comp that I can even imagine is if you woke up in 1907 and you're 10 years ago, you were farming corn. And next thing you know, what are these contraptions we're all riding around in with a combustible engine? And everybody's moved to the city and they've got black lung disease? I mean, that's the only comp that I can think about. And by the way, they handled that the right way back then. They largely rejected progressive politics and embraced, well, we're going to have to roll with innovation. We're going to have to let it play out. And it's really one of the biggest economic booms in American history. Now, it had its problems, and it did launch the progressive era. Not to make everything political, but it's the comp in American history. Now, quickly, speaking of making everything political, my friend texted me in the last couple of days. My friend went on ESPN this morning, and I think has to be called to account. And I would love to do it face-to-face. I'd love to do it on air. I'd love to do it in person. He would take the criticism well, I think, because he's flat out wrong. Here's the quick initial reaction. Here's the first take from CNN, from Stephen A. Smith on ESPN's First Take.
We know what world that I live in terms of politics. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story.
This is insane. This is wrong. This is so wrong, Stephen A. This is the thing that we've become addicted to in the analysis of anything now at this breakneck pace that we're living in society of anything. It's all always about Trump. And it's all always in service of the narrative that Trump is an authoritarian headed after his enemies. The idea here is that Trump is after sports. Trump is coming. Why? Because sports has made themselves the enemy of Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump has weighed in on sports because Donald Trump will weigh in on his favorite song. He'll weigh in on fashion. He'll weigh in on anything in culture. And he weighed in on Colin Kaepernick. He's weighed in on college football. I believe he's weighed in on the new kickoff rules in the NFL. But that doesn't mean Trump is coming. The idea that Stephen A. is giving you here is, again, it's episode. It's franchise issue number 14 of the Fast and Furious. Trump is coming after his enemies. And in this case, it's sports because they've criticized Trump. As though this story is about, in any way, Donald Trump. Stephen A. makes the argument in that clip on First Take that by putting this press conference together, Kash Patel out front is evidence of how Trump is coming. I guess making the argument that the public nature of this bust is what made this something about Trump. But narrative can't drive. Facts and reality have to drive. Here are the facts and reality. By my count, you've got 4 of the 5 families of the Italian Mafia. Shockingly, Tinfoil Pat didn't know La Cosa Nostra. Pat, that's the Italian Mafia, La Cosa Nostra.
He thought it was Spanish.
It's the 5 families of
Italians.
New York. Yeah,
He's like, is that Mexican?
No, it's the Italians. And I think if you've watched a single movie, a single Goodfellas, a single Godfather, a single Casino, you would have come across the term La Cosa Nostra. Reference
am
to
so
5
American
families, and I can do it because we're talking about New York, my buddy. Italian
I'm so
Americans
American
aren't
that I
American.
block out those un-American words. So like, it's just like hearing the teacher and the peanuts. You know, wah wah wah. It's not American. I just don't hear it.
Wow.
Italian Americans are un-American?
No, just
You
Italian.
better watch out, buddy. You better not come to New York saying that. You're going to be on some list.
Let's lean in here. What are you saying? I don't understand. That like when you hear words like Genovese and Lucchese and La Cosa Nostra, that's Charlie Brown's teacher?
I have no idea what
it's
you just said.
Foreign?
Yeah, I can't even go to a Mexican restaurant
Okay.
by myself.
Well, let's move on.
Well, all right, moving back to this. 5 families of New York. Lucchese, Genovese, Gambino, Bonanno. The only one that I can think of the 5 that wasn't mentioned in this press conference this morning was the Colombos. And I love my Italian Mafia and Mexican drug cartel, Game of Thrones history. So I know a lot about this. But I'm telling you, if you've ever watched a movie, you've come across these. You know, Donnie Brasco, Goodfellas, you're going to hear about these families. These are the families involved in these gambling schemes. That's going to get some attention, Stephen A. You've also got the current head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, NBA star, Chauncey Billups. That's going to get some attention. Here again is U.S. interim attorney for New York, Joseph Nacella, talking about the players involved in this story.
The defendants in this case are Eric Ernest, Marvez Farley, Shane Hennon, De Niro Laster, Damon Jones, a former NBA player and coach, and Terry Rozier, a current NBA player. Other co-conspirators were previously charged for their roles in the scheme, including former NBA player Jonte Porter.
Like Patrick, he's unfamiliar with certain names that seem foreign to him. It's Terry Rozier, not Terry Rozier. It's Terry
He's the
Rozier,
French one.
in addition to these numbers. Which, by the way, Clay Travis was on Fox News the other day pointing out that Terry Rozier made something like $120 million in his career.
What are you
and now
doing,
here
dog?
he is wrapped up in this gambling scandal. This is why. This is front page. This is why there's a press conference, Stephen A. And, you know, just as a quick parenthetical, as a quick aside, we have these debates sometimes off air, and I'm going to get into this more, but here's the narrative, Dan. Here's the narrative to it. Donald Trump is rolling up through ICE. You know, good old people out here in America that just happen to be illegal immigrants. The narrative is he's only going after criminals, but the numbers now suggest, according to The Guardian, that he's arrested more people in America simply here illegally than people in America with criminal conviction charges. And I got to thinking about that, and I was curious. I was like, well, number one, good, because we're enforcing illegal immigration laws. But number two, that entire premise, he's actually rounding up more illegal immigrants on their way to the job site, on their way to elementary school drop-off than just criminal illegal aliens, is used, like Stephen A's narrative, to suggest Donald Trump is an authoritarian using jackbooted thugs to wrap up and roll up good people.
Some are saying.
Well, I got to looking at it, and we've heard the numbers. Barack Obama deported 3 million people, 2.7 million people over the course of his presidency. Now, the right has pointed out, well, a lot of those were turnaways at the border that he counted as deportations. Still, let's set that aside. What about actual deportations? Well, his high mark, for example, was, I believe in 2009 or 10, it was in the early part of his presidency, where he deported something like 420,000 people in 1 year. Of those, if you research this, I believe half of those deportations were people with no other criminal record than illegal immigration. So 200,000, that's what that would be in 1 year, deported with nothing on their record other than illegal immigration. And those numbers being reported from The Guardian right now is that Donald Trump has deported 15,000 with a criminal record and 16,000 with no criminal record. 200,000 versus 16,000 deported with no criminal record other than illegal immigration. Now, we'll double check all of those numbers, and you have to look beyond just simply a Google search because it's how the government codes all these things. It makes it very difficult to understand. But the point is, we've been here before. And is it the facts driving what we want to understand, or is it the narrative that Donald Trump is out to get his political enemies? And that's all that matters. That narrative, not the facts and not reality. The facts and reality suggest that's bullshit. The narrative about Donald Trump, as is the take that this is somehow Donald Trump going after sports. No, this is a scandal. This is huge, and it will have ramifications for the NBA. Finally, here is Joe Nacella one more time talking about the scope of the crimes, illegal poker games, and involving the NBA.
Between December 2022 and March 2024, these defendants perpetrated a scheme to defraud by betting on inside, non-public information about NBA athletes and teams. The non-public information included when specific players would be sitting out future games, or when they would pull themselves out early for purported injuries or illnesses. They relied on corrupt individuals, including Jones and Rozier, They also misused information obtained through long-standing friendships that they had with NBA players and coaches. And in at least one instance, they got their information by threatening a current player, Porter, because of his pre-existing gambling debts. Defendants used this non-public information to place hundreds of thousands of dollars in fraudulent bets, mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance.
Incredible details. And I would suggest to you, it's true. This is just the beginning. But it isn't that Donald Trump is coming. There's more coming to the world of sports. There's more coming to the world of gambling. And when you've got the NBA, current sitting head coaches in the NBA, and stick with me, Pat, if you can translate, and you've got the Genovese, Lucchese, Bonanno, and Gambino crime families in New York, you got yourself not just one hell of a story, you got yourself your next Hollywood movie. James Carville says we should shave the heads of Trump collaborators, put them in orange pajamas, march them through the streets, and spit on them. Let's break it down with townhall.com columnist Kurt Schlichter next on Will Cain Country.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Fox Nation.
Her life was bigger than any film.
And executive producer Kim Kardashian.
She knew the power that she had.
Bring you unprecedented access into the life of Elizabeth Taylor.
If people want to hear something from me, you're going to hear it.
An exclusive 3-part series.
She created celebrity the way that we see it now.
Go inside the life of the woman who made celebrity iconic.
She died a hero. She's just the blueprint.
Elizabeth Taylor, Rebel Superstar. Streaming now on Fox Nation. Sign up at foxnation.com today.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey there, it's me, Kennedy. Make sure to check out my podcast, Kennedy Saves the World. It is 5 days a week. Every week, we check in with Jimmy Fallon, bring in authors for the book club, and even treat some of your favorite Fox personalities to a very special happy hour. Download and listen at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Kennedy Saves the World. America's listening to Fox News.
How does tinfoil have zero clue about Mafia? Sadie's getting paid and knows not much. Wow, Will. Really? Why is that my fault? When I was hiring, that wasn't on the interview questionnaire. Tell me what you know about Vito Genovese. Apparently somebody who does know something about Vito Genovese is joining us next here on Will Cain Country, streaming live at the Will Cain Country YouTube channel, and always available to follow on Spotify or Apple. It is townhall.com senior columnist, the author of American Apocalypse, the Second American Civil War, Kurt Schlichter, who joins us now. Big Mafia guy, I'm told, Kurt?
Hey, Omerta, the code of silence, man. I don't want to end up in the trunk of a Buick with them
on the bright
playing
side,
Layla over the soundtrack.
On the bright side, we kind of thought the Mafia was over, kind of done. You don't hear much about the Mafia these days. They seem sort of sad sack. Now, I've done some interviews that suggest, no, that's not true. They're actually still pretty involved. But this is one made for Hollywood. This is a Mafia movie that we don't have to go back to the 1940s, 50s, or the 1970s to make. You can make a Mafia movie now in 2025.
Well, first of all, the soundtrack for it would be terrible. All I could say, a modern one. The last thing I want is, Jimmy the Rapper, over the, no, thank you. Scorsese needs to walk away from that. But I'm sure Robert De Niro would take a part if the check was big enough. I thought the Mafia was gone, Will. But apparently, I don't know, the FBI was busy hassling moms who didn't want sex offenders wagging their the whole butcher shop in their kids' locker room. So maybe while the FBI was not doing its job, the Mafia decided, hey Vito, hey Jimmy, hey no-nos, let's go out and start a poker game.
Yeah, man, can you imagine getting? I wonder. I would like to know who got took. I wonder if that's names as well. Like, who's getting invited to a game where you're going to lose a lot of money, but you're there because you're playing with Chauncey Billups, allegedly, and some others. Like, I bet you the Marks are names we might recognize.
Oh, I'm sure of it. And, a lot of these guys aren't, getting some recreation as a way to de-stress after their work as particle physicists. Because, if the Mafia is involved and you're playing with poker with them, do you think you're going to come out well? Do you think that's going to work out
I don't know. I don't know if they know the Mafia's involved. I don't know about that. I don't know that they know they're going to play poker with Vito. They think they're just going to play with Chauncey, but Vito's got the X-ray table that you didn't know was looking up under your skirt at your cards. He is the house. Different kind of character here. I want to talk to you about the more we continue to learn about Graham Plattner. He's the main Democrat senatorial candidate who had the Nazi death skull tattoo on his chest. By the way, yeah, I did this story yesterday, and somebody on social media over on the Will Cain Show said, come on, man, skull and crossbones. A lot of people get a skull and crossbones. I'm like, man, this isn't the frickin' Jolly Roger. There's a difference. There's a difference between the one that's on a pirate flag and the one that's on a SS hat. The skull turned at a 45-degree angle, the abnormally short, I guess, bones underneath the head. I mean, you've seen it, and it rings a bell.
Apparently
yeah. I've seen that. That was in Schindler's List.
He's never seen Kelly Heroes or any other movie ever. Let's understand what Graham Plattner's thing is, because he's saying, well, I didn't know it was, the SS Panzer Division Death's Head. Okay, the best case for Graham Plattner is he got a tattoo and he didn't know what it was. That's like saying, no, I'm not a Nazi. I'm just an idiot. So it's cool.
So make me senator.
Amazing timing, right? When they're neck deep in the you Republicans are fascist. Hey, some fat guy who's never kissed a girl on some Telegram chat, he made a Hitler joke. So you're all adherents of the tenets of the National German Socialist Workers' Party. Yeah, that's a thing. And then Graham Plattner wanders in, and he's literally got a Nazi skull tattooed on his chest. Oh, and we find it out because he's dancing to Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball on video in a bar someplace in his underwear. Hey, Stephen Hawking, move over. You've got some competition.
All those details are true. He says they're marine silkies, by the way, not his underwear. Marine silkies is what he says he was wearing.
Oh, okay.
There's more, Kurt. There's more. So now people have dug into. He used to be a real regular poster on Reddit, okay? And this is what Graham Plattner used to say on Reddit. He said that Plattner complimented a business and noted the Antifa super soldier label on his armor. So he put on his armor that he was an Antifa super soldier.
Which
he
doesn't
also,
exist.
By the way,
there's no Antifa.
What doesn't exist?
It doesn't exist.
Right.
But it also exists.
I've been told that. I've been told that reliably. Right. I was told that by one of the rally planners at the No Kings rally last week on the Will Cain Show. He also, by the way, took part in the local Socialist Rifle Association, encouraging people to join the group. And he helped organize various gun courses for, I guess, fellow Antifa super soldiers to learn how to shoot their guns. This is a man running for Senate. He's explaining all this, saying, I was effing around on the internet. I was a shit poster at a difficult time in my life.
I think the term's dumbass poster. Well, first of all, I respect his bravery because, you know, when the Antifa guys, you know, you got a furry, you got a transsexual, you got somebody with a freaking steel rod through his nose. Somebody's getting shot in the foot. Okay, so I guess his courage at being around those halfwits with guns, it's something. But you know, Will, this brings me to mind of the one person on earth who is never going to be allowed to gamble at that Mafia gambling parlor because she's so lucky. It's Susan Collins, the incumbent senator in Maine, who this genius is trying to run against. Of course, he's got to get over the woman who's 473 years old. Democrats, you're doing great. You're doing amazing.
Kurt, here's some more that he said. I'm just looking at these quotes because it's pretty wild. He posted that an armed working class is a requirement for economic justice. He also wrote, expect to fight fascism without a good semi-automatic rifle. They ought to do some reading of history. So basically talking about arming yourself, getting ready for civil conflict, unlike out of your books, the Second Civil War, and yet has maintained the endorsement of Senator Bernie Sanders and Congressman Ro Khanna.
Well, I mean, that's not a shock. And look, I mean, if the guy's all for the Second Amendment, you know, I guess you can't paint anybody all black. But you know, my guns are to fight communists, not to help them. And I got a lot of guns because I'm an American. A tattoo-free American, by the way.
I mean, it's just pretty wild. We're talking about an Antifa super soldier with a Nazi SS tattoo on his chest who has talked about basically arming yourself for insurrection when it comes to the economic justice fight. And not only is he the Democrat senatorial candidate for the state of Maine, but he is one that sitting elected politicians are standing by, much like Jay Jones, in the wake of the revelation of this scandal. No. And in fact, posting regularly, come on, guys, let's not nitpick here. We can't nitpick our candidates. This is a real fighter. That's what you're hearing on social media from the left.
I know we're being very, very fussy about these Democrats who literally want to murder us and our children. Dude, we should totally be cool about this, Will. What's wrong with us? You know, if I was a cynical guy, and as you know, there's nobody more optimistic about human nature than a former trial lawyer from Los Angeles. If I was cynical, I might start to believe that the Democrats don't actually believe any of the things they say. Now, I don't really want to go there, but, you know, I don't know. Having a candidate for the highest law enforcement officer in a state who literally wants to murder his opponents and watch their children die, I don't know. Yeah, a bridge too far, maybe? Just saying.
Okay, let's put it to the test. Do Democrats mean what they say? Here is, on CNN, Texas Democrat. No, not Jasmine Crockett. Texas Democrat, Jolanda Jones.
I'm from the hood, okay? So when a bully comes, like, if there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out. So Donald Trump has changed things, and people trying to do what's always been done is not going to work. And I think that's why Democrats are losing black people. That's why they're losing poor people, because poor people, all they want is for us to fight. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck, because we can go back and forth fighting each other's faces. You've got to hit hard enough where they won't come back.
What does that mean? Go across your neck, and she makes the throat slitting motion as she says that.
You know, I just wrote a whole novel based on the premise that leftists are stupid enough to begin a fight that they can't win. I have to, in the strongest possible terms, advise people don't go down this road. Now, I actually served in the ruins of a civil war in Kosovo. I've seen what happens when neighbors kill neighbors. When villages that have been next to each other for centuries, one of them decides, we're going to go burn the other one out because their names are a little different and their skin tone's a little off. I'm telling you, you don't want that. You really, really don't want that. So shut your fool mouth and go out and make your case politically. Because if you light that fuse, you are not going to like the explosion.
Okay, you bring up earlier that Democrats don't believe this. So let's put it to the test now on round 2. Now, I've had this guy on my show on several occasions. And I'm going to be honest, and I don't care if the audience doesn't like that I say this. There are things that I like about this guy. I mean, he's got some normal guy to him. I know that sounds weird. He likes sports. He likes to debate sports. He actually has some sanity for Democrats from time to time, like on the trans issues and the whole alphabet army issues. And yet, here's James Carville saying this, Kurt.
And I think we ought to have radical thing. I think they all ought to have their head shaven. They should be put in orange pajamas, and it should be marched down Pennsylvania Avenue, and the public should be invited to spit on them. All of these collaborators should be shaved, pajamaed, and spit on. It's a moral judgment.
Yeah.
If you bend the knee to a criminal tyrant, and that's what he is, understand, he is a criminal.
That's yeah. There you go, Kurt.
Look, James Carville, he's pushing 112. I'm not sure everything's still working as smoothly as it always did. But I have to ask, when he talks about we're going to do this and we're going to do that to you, who's we? Who's the guy who's going to go out and do this, big man? Who's the guy who's going to make us do anything? See, here's the problem the left has. It has no actual power. As their hero chairman Mao said, you'd think they'd know better. Power comes from the barrel of a gun. Who's going to go out and do all these things? Who's going to go lock up all the Republicans like we keep hearing being threatened, and take them to camps like we keep hearing threatened, and do all this stuff? Who's the guy who's going to do this? Because
I think we know.
I don't know anybody who's putting
Graham
up with
Plattner.
it. Look, the only power they have is the power to nag on social media. We don't have to do anything they say. And that's the beauty of Trump. Because he's like, no, I'm not going to do any of those things you say. Well, you have to. You see, there are norms and rules, and you have to obey them. We don't, but you do. And, you got the Mitt Romney types going, oh, yes, we'd better obey. Oh, well, I never. That's not who we are. And you got Donald Trump and millions of Americans going, nah, we're just not going to do any of that. No thanks. What else you got? And it drives them insane. And Carville's going insane. And a lot of the Democrats are going insane. Sadly, some of them are becoming homicidal maniacs, as we've seen. And I don't think that ends well.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what's happening to Carville or if he doesn't believe it. And when he's talking to somebody like me, he can smile and joke and give it back and forth, debate vigorously, and then he gets around somebody like-minded, he says something like this. I don't know what's the real version, He's a traditional political animal. He's not an AOC type. He doesn't know what to do with this new wing of the Democratic Party. He's frickin' Bill Clinton's strategy guy. That's who he is. And he's trying to keep up with the kids, man.
Yes,
and you really got to invoke some Game of Thrones imagery to keep up with the kids. I don't know what he really believes.
Look, I don't think Democrats believe in much of anything except their own personal power. And like I said, I'm an LA trial lawyer. I respect that. I get it. I'm just not going to do anything they say. And I'm going to work to destroy all the institutions they've infected. I'm going to take away all the money that they've been looting, and I'm going to ensure that they never, ever, ever have the power to have any kind of say in my or anyone else's life. And if they don't like it, too bad. Make your move, dude. Jimmy Carville, roll the dice. I'm right here. Spit on me. See how that goes for you.
There's Kurt saying, if you want to jump, jump. Last story here. My old friend Snoop Dogg. It was only like a month or two ago, Kurt. Snoop was sort of seeing light, and he was talking about the fact that he went to the movies with his granddaughter, and here's what he saw. Listen.
So we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, they move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, man, she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie.
He's talking about Buzz Lightyear. But here we are, Kurt, just a few short months later, and here's the headline. That Snoop Dogg, for his show, what's the name of the show? Something like Doggy something. Supports LGBTQ plus youth on new kid song, Love is Love. In his new show, kids show, you've got all different types of family formations, Doggy Land is the name of the show. He's got whatever, female, male, multi-generational families, and he wrote a song as pressured or in combination or partnership with GLAAD to write this song. So Snoop, tough guy, Snoop. Your guy Snoop.
Man,
he
they broke
bends
Snoop.
to the pressure of GLAAD.
Snoop couldn't stand the heat. Man. He should have offered him a bong and told him to chill. I mean, look, first of all, I'm still trying to get my head around the father and mother of the year who'd be like, here, Billy, here, Caden, here, Ashley, watch the Snoop Dogg cartoon, good plan. But Snoop Dogg, what is this, like 1994?
I just can't believe
I gotta go
Snoop
ask my dad
is such
who
a sellout.
Snoop Dogg was. Yeah, it's, they broke in his spirit. It's sad. I mean, it's just, imagine the degradation to be Snoop Dogg and have a bunch of these, awful Chardonnay swilling, SSRI gobbling wine women come to you and demand that you make a rap that's suitably inclusive, or they're going to be mad at you, and you're like, well, okay. All right. Sounds like a good, okay. Has someone seen my shoe? I lost my shoe again. Just Snoop
I guess
Dogg.
there's no true G's anymore. No true gangsters
Word.
anymore. The gangsters, the Crips of L.A. have given in to the GLAADs of, I don't know, America, wherever GLAAD originates
Snoop
from.
Dogg of my day would have channeled those Mafia guys and say, hey, GLAAD, get your shine box.
Now we know who the real organized crime is. Now we know where the real power is. Now we know the real gangsters.
Exactly.
It's GLAAD. All right, check out Kurt at townhall.com or check out his book. As mentioned in the course of this interview, it is American Apocalypse, the Second American Civil War. Always good to talk to you, Kurt. Thanks for your time.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll see you, man. All right, by the way, we have a celebrity that's told you the biggest turnoff when it comes to men. Dakota Johnson says there's one thing that's a massive red flag. We get to that. Plus, Michael Jordan tells you about the one time he's touched a basketball since he retired. Coming up on Will Cain Country.
Hey, I'm Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Join me every Tuesday as we cover the full range of topics that are on your mind and speak with some brilliant, talented, thoughtful women and men who have excelled in their respective fields and careers. Plus, every Thursday is your turn. You get to be the lawyer and you get to ask the questions about whatever is foremost on your mind.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Fox Nation.
Her life was bigger than any film.
And executive producer Kim Kardashian.
She knew the power that she had.
Bring you unprecedented access into the life of Elizabeth Taylor.
If people want to hear something from me, you're going to hear it.
An exclusive 3-part series.
She created celebrity the way that we see it now.
Go inside the life of the woman who made celebrity iconic.
She died a hero. She's just the blueprint.
Elizabeth Taylor, Rebel Superstar, streaming now on Fox Nation. Sign up at foxnation.com today.
Kudlow on Fox Business is now on the go for podcast fans. Download the Kudlow Show podcast every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com. Kudlow covers the latest headlines and business trends with an emphasis on the financial impact facing households and businesses across the country. Listen to interviews with key business newsmakers. The Kudlow podcast will be available on the go after the show every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
James Carville's a typical Louisianan, knows nothing but corruption his whole 80 years, and it's more weird the further south you go. That's what Excalibur 4 says in the Willisha. It is Will Cain Country on the Will Cain Country YouTube channel, but you can follow on Spotify or on Apple. Two-a-days Dan, Tinfoil Pat, back in studio with us. Dan says he's got Graham Plattner fears. What is he actually tattooed onto his arm? I don't have any tattoos, Dan. I don't have any.
Too scared of the pain?
Patrick, do you have any tattoos?
Just mom on my butt.
I'm gonna get to that. Do you have any for
No,
real? Do you have any, Patrick?
No, I don't.
Did you? How about the text the other night, Dan? I really liked this. I should have had you guys grab the sound. I love this sound of Joe Flacco, who's now a Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. Yeah. And what he says is he used to look at that guy sitting at the bar eating dinner by himself and feel bad for him. And he says, now I realize that guy's in heaven. And that really spoke to me. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I do every once in a while, if life somehow arranges my life so that I am at a bar having particularly a steak or a burger. Those are the two. Have a steak or a burger sitting at a bar by yourself. It's pretty awesome. It's a great experience.
It's a slice of heaven.
And I get 100%. I get where Flacco's coming from. Maybe 20 years ago, I would have looked at that guy and go, how sad, how lonely.
Loser.
And now I look at that guy and go, that guy's living the life, man. Look at him. You know,
a nice steak and a side salad.
It's amazing how that changes.
Fresh, cold beer. Oh, my God. No one talking to you?
Here's another one. No one does this anymore because I feel like the movies have just gone away. I used to love the movies. So growing up, and then even into my 20s and into early marriage, my wife and I used to love going to the movies. But, you know, when you were a teenager, you'd go to the movies, but it was a social thing. And I think it was after college sometime, maybe I went to the movies by myself. And at first you're like, this is sad that you're doing this. And then you realize this is kind of awesome. Like, I actually love going to the movies by myself. Now, I haven't been to the movies even with somebody in a long time. But did you guys ever get into that? Go to the movies by yourself?
All the time. I loved it. It started off as like a date thing. You know, you go to the movies, it's a date night, right? When you're in your early 20s, you're a teenager even. Coming back online here. Whoa, hey now.
Oh,
here we go. But yes, I did that for a very long time. Going to the movie by myself. It's great. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to share your popcorn or your snacks. You don't have to share anything. You go and you just watch.
You don't talk during the movies anyway.
I did it while I'm with my wife. I've done it. I've gone to the movies by myself since I've been with her.
Have you gone to the movie theater together and saw different movies?
No, that's weird.
Is it?
No, haven't done that.
No.
I don't know. I haven't either. I'm just curious.
Yeah, definitely haven't. I definitely haven't done that.
No, Dan, it's not that I'm afraid of the pain. It's that I'm afraid of the commitment on the tattoo. And so there's nothing that I've ever thought, I want that for the rest of my life on me. I want that design. I always want to look at that. And that's why I go back to this Graham Plattner thing. Now, okay, even if we do this the most charitable way, agro, marine, overseas, hammered, I still think I would sit there in the tattoo parlor pondering what I'm going to wear for the rest of my life. Like the drunk agro marine thing would get me to the tattoo parlor, maybe be like, yeah, you're right, guys, let's do it. Let's just do it. But once I'm there, I don't think I could be drunk enough to go, give me whatever.
They won't tattoo you drunk,
So my point is...
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
Even overseas?
Yeah, because you bleed out.
Did he say he got it?
It thins your blood and you bleed a ton and you
really?
can pass out. Yeah, it's really bad.
Oh.
Now
Well, that excuse doesn't work for him then, does it?
No.
I've been to the tattoo parlor, and they give you like this book. If you don't know what you want, they give you a book of like
called a
all the
flash.
tattoos. Yeah, yeah. And so like, did he just see this and they go, it's like labeled definitely not a Nazi tattoo, and he just went, that's
Yeah.
the one for me.
You should walk out of that parlor if you see that in a flash book.
But for you, Dan, like you made the joke, now I want to review all my tats and make sure. I
So-
just think I would overthink. I would overthink. Like I wouldn't even be a guy that shows up without the idea. This would be something I think about for weeks or months ahead of time on what I'm going to get inked onto my arms.
See, that's how you look. You look at it differently, though. People look at tattoos like, oh, it needs to mean something to be on me. It doesn't need to mean anything. It's just good art. Like, I go to an artist that does all my tattoos, and he's brilliant, and it's great. And I think it just looks cool. Like, I think about what he's doing, and I have him draw up things that I want. But it's not like I don't have the picture of my grandmother or something like that on my arm, you know. It's just
Well, okay, but even so, then you're talking about a cohesive, integrated design. You're not talking about
Yeah.
just a random thing that you got, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you just get
you
a
gotta put it all
random
together.
thing. Don't you think you'd give that some thought?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. No, for sure. But I do it in pieces so you can put it all together as one big thing.
Do you have Snoopy anywhere?
No, but I do have Mom.
Oh.
Really?
No Snoopy. Yeah.
Just
my mom
jail-
hates it. She hates that.
Jailhouse tat style?
Yeah, that's essentially what I have. But my mom hates that I even talk about it on the show that I have tattoos. She's like, I don't want people thinking that you are that type of person. So what?
What type of person?
A criminal. Or something.
What percentage of the population has tats now, though?
A lot. That's what I said.
I mean, I feel like
So you're not going to get a job because you have tattoos.
if you're
Like, what?
under, if you're under 35, I'm going to put that the number. Do you think 50% of people have tattoos under 35? AI that. Let's AI that while we do this episode
how you pull that.
of Final Takes.
Final takes.
Take it away, Tinfoil Pat.
All right, so I don't know when this was, but recently Michael Jordan was interviewed by NBC, and he had this shocking thing to say. Play it, Dan.
I was at the Ryder Cup. Yeah. And I rented a house from the owner. Sure. He came over to do pictures. He had grandkids. And I was meet and greet and thank him for allowing me to stay in the house. And he had a basketball court. He says, I want you to shoot one free throw. I said, really? And I already paid for the house. It's not like they got to see me. So when I stepped up to shoot the free throw, it's the most nervous I've been in years.
Stop it.
In years.
Stop it. Come on.
And reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago.
Right.
So their expectation is 30 years prior, and I haven't touched the basketball.
I hope you swished it.
Absolutely.
He hasn't shot a
love
basketball
this
in years. That's crazy.
I love this. He also, I think he said in this interview with Mike Tirico as well, that if he could take a pill and still play basketball at the highest level, he would do that. He would take the pill to put him back in his prime. Here's what I love about this that you never see from Michael Jordan. I don't think I've ever seen it. Vulnerability. You never, ever see that. Like, if you watch any of that Big Bulls documentary, he's the ultimate in confidence and cockiness. And I don't think he's faking it. Like, he just, like, whether that was pitching quarters with the security guard to compete, whatever. He was always so cocky. And here he's sharing vulnerability, like that he was nervous shooting that free throw because he knew he had to live up to his reputation to those kids. That I think that's more interesting than the fact that he hasn't touched a basketball in all these years. And it makes you like him so much more. That whole thing that people say about vulnerability is the key to human connection. It makes him seem human. I like that Jordan is a superhero, but it's nice for a moment to see he's also just a dude, just a man. Well, not really. He's not just a dude, just a man. He is also a man who is a superhero.
Well, you see that clip going around of all the athletes talking about like who they wouldn't talk trash to, and everyone said Jordan. And even Shaq had the quote. They're like, "Who's the one guy you won't talk trash to?" He's like, "Jordan. I won't do it." He goes, "You don't mess with God. You just don't do it." He had that reputation.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, you can talk about LeBron all you want, but nobody's scared other players like Jordan did on the court.
Have you ever seen
Speaking of Shaq,
Michael Jordan play? Will?
Like in person?
Yeah.
You know what? I think the answer is yes. And I know you're like, how do you not know? Because the answer is that it would have been in the 80s or early 90s. I was young. And the Bulls, who everybody loved the Bulls already. So they were already to that stage where Jordan had made the Bulls the team that every little kid in the country paid attention to, came to Dallas and played the Mavericks. And it was when the Mavericks were awful. So that now I'm in the 90s because the Mavericks made the Western Conference Finals in 88. Then they started to go way downhill. And by 91, the Mavericks were awful and were for most of the 90s. So I'm going to say I was like 11 or 12 years old. I probably saw Jordan at Reunion Arena in Dallas. What I don't know, and the reason I'm not sure, is I don't remember if he's in the game or not. You know what I mean? I know I went to a Bulls-Mavs game.
And they didn't have they didn't do that thing that thing where they sit guys out. So he probably was there. He probably played.
You're right. They didn't do load management.
Load
they do now.
Yeah.
God, imagine if you brought that up
You're
to them
right.
back then. Load management to Jordan.
We're going to sit you out tonight, Mike, so that you're really in good shape for the game later this week, so you're rested up. Yeah, I don't think that would have flown.
That would have been like tinfoil Pat trying to understand Italian.
I gave ESPN a hard time about Stephen A's comments this morning on First Take. I want to give ESPN credit. I watched basketball last night, and I watched the Mavericks just get destroyed by the Spurs in Game 1. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have watched him yet, but Victor Wembanyama is something else. He's from another planet. You're looking at this is going to be totally disruptive in the NBA. Unless he can't stay healthy. What is he, 7'4", 7'5"?
If he puts on too much weight, it's going to be a problem.
He's got everything, man. He's got handles. He can drive to the basket. He dunks. And in some ways, you don't see the dunk coming because there's no jump. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little jump.
It's like 15 feet
But he
away.
has the ability to get there. Anthony Davis is an all-NBA defender, right? That means he's one of the, 5 best defenders in the NBA? He had nothing for Wembanyama. Like, dude is unstoppable. Also, by the way, you can shoot from the outside. But to give ESPN credit, Inside the NBA is now on ESPN. Chuck, Kenny, Shaq, Ernie. And it was awesome, just like it always is.
Yep.
It was awesome. Those guys are just awesome, and now they have it on ESPN, and good for them. It's like, for years, it's always been, how can ESPN have a halftime show? Well, they found it. Buy the best on TV.
Shaq talking about the Lakers and Charles Barkley last night, DeAndre Ayton was great. I love when Charles and Shaq go back and forth on inside basketball stuff. It's
and how much weight Barkley's lost?
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I mean,
he sounds different.
So skinny all of a sudden. Yeah. All right, finally, we're going to hit this in final takes. Dakota Johnson has revealed her ultimate turnoff in men. She has one huge red flag, and it involves, as the headline reads, one specific type of footwear. Dakota Johnson's turnoff? Men who wear flip-flops in public. Now, let's just go around the horn. Does this bother you? I'm going to bet both of you are flip-flop guys.
That's pejorative.
I can't believe we would.
I have heard this my entire dating life. Every woman I've ever dated has hated guys in flip-flops. Every single one. There's a time and a place in a public shower or at the beach. That's it.
Public
Patrick,
shower.
you ever
Be a
slip off
man.
the Hey Dudes?
No.
You ever,
I
you
only,
ever slip off
I
the Hey
only,
Dudes?
Hey
no,
Dudes
I
can
only
get
wear
wet.
shoes and socks to the beach. You know, I don't think anyone should ever see my feet
You
or any
definitely
man's
do,
foot.
don't you?
Yeah.
I have, throughout my life, been a huge flip-flop guy.
I know you have. I could tell.
Yep. You can tell?
Yep.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Hawaii. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
The fact
Hawaii
that
and California.
The fact that you've gone to Hawaii a ton, that right there tells you.
Well, that's different.
In California, going to Pepperdine,
Sure.
I learned about.
Surprised it wasn't bare
that
feet.
Was like I got a degree in flip flops at Pepperdine. Like the California guys would make fun of me about the ones to wear, the ones not to wear, what works, what doesn't work, and you end up loving them. And then I went through a stretch where I would even wear them with jeans. You know, I'd wear them all the time.
That's just horrid.
And as I've gotten older, as I've gotten older, I realize I don't think I should be wearing flip-flops outside of really the scenarios that you just described, Dan. Like the beach, the pool. You know what, though? No, I disagree. I live in Texas. It's hot in the summer. Shorts and flip-flops, to a
Wrong.
backyard party or something like that.
Wear your Vans, dude. They're fine.
You're middle-aged, man. You're getting up there. You need to start acting like your age a little bit.
I think that's a real debate. I know. I'm saying this with a lot of self-consciousness. I'm not sure.
Why do women hate it, though?
I'm not sure if I should be wearing flip-flops.
Is
They
it
don't want to
because-
see your feet.
They don't
Men
want to see your
have
feet.
good-looking feet.
No.
We don't groom our feet. That's right. We don't get
they don't want to see our feet.
pedicures.
Yeah, maybe we just need more
I'm curious.
mani-pedis.
What I would love a poll on this. I would love to hear from the ladies. Like, and I'm going to bet the
put it up
poll
on
comes
X.
back. Do you think 70% of the ladies agree with Dakota Johnson, or do you think it's higher or lower? Over
95.
Under 70%.
95.
No, not that high.
I think
Not that high.
over 90, I bet.
I think 80-10 or 80-20.
Not.
Yeah.
All right, put it in. And by the way, we now know, according to AI, 40% of people under the age of 35 have a tattoo. 40%. So pretty close to that half.
Yep.
Right earlier. I want to know, if you're in the militia, figure out how to do it, guys. Technology, I don't know. Put a poll into the comment section or whatever you do. I want to know what percentage of the ladies agree with Dakota Johnson about flip-flops. That's going to do it for us today here on Will Cain Country. Cain on Sports edition tomorrow, Friday. You can only get it by following us on Spotify or Apple. We'll see you again next time.